Meeting of the Clinton Township Board of Trustees to order. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Trustee Wade.
Here.
Trustee Matuzak.
Here.
Trustee Kress.
Present.
Supervisor Gilliam.
Here.
Trustee King.
Present.
Treasurer Aiello.
Present.
Clerk Meltzer here.
Okay. Item next is approval of the agenda. 17 items, one closed session items, or we will be coming out to address it. I believe it was added on as item number 17.
Yeah, I just have a question. I tried calling your office today. I know you're super busy this day, but I wanted to know, normally when we come out, we don't have. So do you know how you're managing the going in and out of the agenda?
I think we'll go into closed session, come out, and deal with item number 17.
And you'll be okay with that? Okay,
Correct.
perfect. I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second that.
Discussion? A roll call, please.
Wait, here's a question.
Oh,
I'm ready for the consent agenda. I'd like to pull item C out of the consent
Okay.
agenda, so.
Roll call, okay.
roll call, please.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Brings us to item number 1, consent agenda. There's been a request to separate item number C, or item lettered C. No objection. Without objection, we'll take items A, B, D, E, and F.
I'll make that motion to approve it as stated.
Okay, been moved
Support.
and supported. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
In regards to letter C, or 1C, Trustee Kress.
C says personal vacancy review committee recommendation. I went to Debbie today to get the history of the last several meetings that took place, as well as the minutes. And she said that all of the vacancy review committee have been canceled. So I don't know what exactly they're working from, if there hasn't been a committee meeting.
So I believe, Trustee Kress, that is incorrect. The process for the Vacancy Review Committee is comprised of, I believe, the Finance Director, the HR Director, as well as the 3 full-time elected officials. And an email is usually sent out to ask if there are objections to the filling of budgeted positions. If there are no objections, then the recommendation generally moves forward.
Okay.
In the case of a few of the items on item number C, there was a meeting at the request of the clerk.
Okay, because I went to acquire the meeting minutes today, and she said that all meetings as of late have been canceled, so I wanted to bring myself up to speed. And if it's a recommendation of the Human Resources Director, and it's not the recommendation of the Vacancy Review Committee, I think it should reflect that, because this is misleading.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. In regards to item letter C, do we have a motion?
I move approval.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
A second, sorry.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Trustee Wade.
No.
Trustee Kress.
No.
Supervisor Gilliam.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item number 2, introduction of applicant for appointment to the Conservation and Beautification Committee.
Dear board members, there is one full term open on the Conservation Beautification Committee. The committee holds terms of 3 years. The term has an expiration date of November 30th, 2027. Attached for your review is the application for appointments for the following applicant, Candace Giles. Per the policy guideline, an invitation has been extended to the applicant to attend the March 2nd, 2026 board meeting, where an opportunity will be given to make a 3-minute introduction. Thank you for your time and consideration in this matter. Sincerely, Paul Gilliam, Supervisor.
Is Ms. Giles in attendance?
She is
Not
not.
seeing any hands raised. There are open positions on the Conservation and Beautification Committee, so it would be my recommendation, having reviewed the application of Ms. Giles, that we move ahead with appointment and filling the position. Is there
I
a
said-
motion to that effect?
I have a question.
Okay,
So it doesn't-
question?
I mean, it looks like there's a lot of information missing on this, like, in terms of experience. I was hoping she would be here to answer that.
The
And what, and qualifications. She does mention that she has qualifications, she doesn't say how she got them.
Well,
just-
she did list her employer as the Oakland County Executive's Office.
I don't see it. That's what I'm saying, I didn't know where she came from.
on there.
Trustee
Is
King.
it on there?
Kim, I'm not trying to be combative, but if we have a resident who's interested in supporting the conservation beautification efforts of the township, does it matter about her qualifications?
Yeah, no, well, I think it matters because there's a standard process, that's all. Not that I object, I'm just trying to figure out, I don't know why it's not showing up on mine. That's fine, so Oakland County, you said Oakland County Executive?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah,
It was,
I
it
don't
was,
see any.
it was in the application as her employer.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
And I think her skill sets and experience is related to her work.
Yeah,
uh,
okay.
with
That's
Oakland
what I was
County.
looking for,
Okay.
so that's
Looking
fine.
for a motion.
And I can, yes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Moved and supported. In terms of further discussion, I will say that as the former chair of the Conservation Committee, now Conservation and Beautification, one of the things that we indicated to folks as they applied is that this is a committee where you actually get your hands dirty. This is a committee where you actually go out and work. You plant trees, you dig holes, you plant flowers, you clean up trash on roadways. And so under Trustee King's leadership, I'm glad to see that continues. So,
Thank you.
without Trustee Matusek.
Just making a note that her background check is included in the packet. So we can
Yeah.
approve her in one meeting.
Okay. All right. A roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello,
Yes.
Trustee King,
Yes.
Trustee Wade,
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak,
Yes.
Trustee Kress,
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam,
Yes.
Clerk Munster, yes, motion passes.
Item number 3, request approval for a temporary structure permit for 24800 William Rosso Highway, Benanati Pools.
My name is Mitchell Hamby, and I am Sales Director for Benanati Pool and Spa. I am writing today to inquire about being able to present our proposal to the board for a temporary structure to be used at our upcoming new location located at 24800 William P. Rosso Highway in Clinton Township. The first occurrence of the tent sale would be the weekend of April 16th through the 19th. We also have 2 more events tentatively planned in June and September. The temporary structure would be a 40-foot round inflatable sail tent meant to house 6 to 10 hot tubs during a weekend-long sale. The tent's tarp would be of blue and white color scale with our logo along with the verbiage hot tub, swim spa, and factory sale. The 8 supporting legs are black in color and each one connects to the tarp at the base. The base is also weighed down by multiple 40-pound sandbags at each leg. We do these types of events 3 times a year at our Utica location, so setup would be done in-house and overseen by either myself, the owner, or a specially trained foreman. Setup at the Clinton Township location would typically be middle of the day, Thursday or early Friday, depending on allowances from the city. Teardown would likely have to be at the end of the day, Monday or early Tuesday, as we would have to remove the products, hot tubs, from the parking lot and return them to storage in Utica beforehand. Along with this letter, I will attach a to-scale drawing of the tent's proposed location, which is the parking lot directly outside the west entrance to the store's location. If there are any questions, I've provided my email, and I will put the rest of the content information in the email form. Sincerely, Mitchell Hamby, Store Manager.
Okay, so this is a request that has been approved in the past, as well as the staff meeting notes indicate. The building department is in concurrence. They've reviewed them in the past. I think it's refreshing under the ordinance. They can have up to 3 outdoor sales if they have a brick and mortar business location. And it's nice to see, rather than coming back 3 times, they're submitting it in their original request. So the floor is open for a motion.
I would make a motion to approve the store's multiple sales with a tent.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and supported. Discussion?
They've been great partners in the past. There's never been any problem with these incidents, and I think it's great to help our businesses.
Okay. Further discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
No.
Supervisor Gilliam.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
Item number 4, request approval for St. Charbel Maronite Catholic Church to hold a festival August 29th, August 30th, 2026.
Hang on 1 second. Dear Kim, this letter is to obtain permission for St. Charbel Maronite Catholic Church to host our 2026 Festival on the grounds at 43888 Hayes Road in Clinton Township. We will be applying to the state of Michigan for a special license to sell beer and wine and spirits, applying to Macomb County Board of Health for a special food license, and to the state of Michigan for a special raffle license. The dates of the festival are Saturday, August 29th, 2026, and Sunday, August 30th, 2026. Attached, please find diagrams of our parking lot showing a 4-tent setup. Stage tent size is 60 feet by 120 feet. The food tent is 40 feet by 60 feet. The beer tent is 20 feet by 40 feet. And the hookah tent is 20 feet by 40 feet. All tents will be erected at least 10 feet away from our buildings as temporary structures. The tents will go up on Friday, August 28th, 2026, and be taken down Monday, August 31st, 2026. The festival will consist of the following: a food tent, grilling area, beer wine tent, tent for entertainment, DJ and dancing and eating, tables and chairs, hookah, children's game area, ice cream area, porta-johns, raffle ticket fundraiser sales area. In case of inclement weather, our church hall will be open for eating purposes. Parking will be available on our property and in the Michigan Works parking lot approximately 1 block south on Hayes Road. Attached is a detailed drawing of our property with our proposed layout. Please advise what the next steps are in moving forward with required permits and paperwork. Vita Fortuna and Abdu Deban are the chairpersons of the festival, and Shar Fortuna is the chairperson of the food. I have CC'd them on this email. I will change the dates to 2026 on the attachment once it is approved. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or concerns. Warm regards, Diane Bartolomeo, Administrative Assistant for St. Charbel Maronite Catholic Church.
Okay, sounds like a good time.
It is.
And is anyone here from St. Charbel's? Okay, would you like to add anything to the materials that were provided to the board? Yep, you gotta come to the mic.
Am I supposed to touch this?
Sure,
Yep.
yeah, you can bring that down, yep. I have to do the same thing.
Thank you for hearing our request tonight.
Yeah.
And this is our 3rd year asking for permission. Nothing will be different. The last 2 years, everything's the same this year.
Okay,
Nothing to add, really.
great, okay.
I can just,
Well, I think it's great that you're here as well, so, Ms. Meltzer.
I just want to attest that I have been to this event, and it's very festive, it's very warm, people are incredibly kind and nice, and the food is amazing, so I'll be back. Thanks.
Trustee Kress.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and supported. Any further discussion? Trustee Wade.
With
Almost called you
the
chief.
alcohol sales, are they restricted to inside the building?
The tent area, where the
Tent
bar
area? They
have a tent.
only.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't take them in the parking lot or
Okay.
anywhere else.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Clerk Melzer, yes. Motion passes. Thank
Item
you.
number 5, thank you so much
You're
for
all
being
set.
here. Item number 5, request approval for a community garage sale at Bethany Baptist Church.
Good morning. My name is Catherine DeKaiser, and I attend Bethany Baptist Church on 15 Mile in Beaconsfield. I would like to hold a community garage sale on August 22nd, 2026, outside in our south parking lot, the lot behind our building. The sale would be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. All parking would be contained in our east parking lot, the lot next to our building. I talked to Barry Miller and was told that I needed to email the clerk and get board approval to hold this event outdoors. Please let me know if there's any more information needed. Thank you, Catherine DeKaiser.
Okay, anybody here from Bethany Baptist to speak on the matter?
If I could just
Okay,
make a comment.
Clerk Meltzer.
I just corresponded with Catherine, just letting her know that, no signs would be allowed within the right-of-way for advertising if they were planning on doing that. And she said, no, they weren't planning on that, and that this is all they, in the schematic is all they're doing, so it looks pretty simple.
Okay, Trustee Kress.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this request.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and supported. Further discussion?
Clarification,
Trustee Matuzak.
if they were holding this community garage sale indoors, they wouldn't need to come to us?
Correct.
Because there are lots of churches that hold these types of events, but they hold them inside their sanctuary, so,
Yeah.
or not the sanctuary, but
I
their
don't believe there's
community building.
a tent that accompanies this. I do have some concerns. What if it rains? But they'll have to figure
Their
that
event.
out, I guess. It's approved at the behest of the board, and they'll have to figure it out at that time. A roll call, please.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes,
Supervisor Gilliam.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Clerk Melzer, yes. Motion passes.
Item number 6, site development plan approval for proposed 7 Brew Coffee on Utica Road.
This commission has made review of the site development plan for 7 Brew Coffee and finds the proposal is in compliance with the requirements of Clinton Township Planning and Zoning Code, and those also of other replying reviewing agents. We hereby make recommendation for approval of the proposed site development plan, and the action was approved by unanimous vote. This matter was petitioned by William Washington Brewtopia, MI LLC. We submit this proposal for consideration and would appreciate advisement of your determination. Sincerely, George Sasson, Secretary for the Clinton Township Planning Commission.
Questions from the board?
Is there any reason we don't, put pictures on the televisions for the audience?
Yeah. if I can.
Clerk Meltzer?
It's coming. The reason is because I have to manage this, and also any chats that are going on in the go-to meeting, which is remote access. So I would have to juggle between multiple screens and all what I'm doing here. So good news, though. In the next meeting, I do believe we will be removing the go-to meeting because it no longer complies with ADA compliance. It's not in force, so we'll have to, until there's another option, we will be removing remote access probably by the next board meeting.
All right, thank you.
And then, I can, that's one less thing I can do, so then I can put the agenda up on the screen.
Okay. Planning Director Thompson, it's my understanding that this is a business that has several locations in other states. This will be, their first Michigan location?
I don't believe it's the first,
Okay.
no, but it's one of the first. That is a new concept that is coming into the Metro Detroit market. It's more of a fast casual type of coffee house. We are seeing an outdated coin-operated car wash going away and a brand-new coffee restaurant going in. So as the Planning Commission said, they were unanimous. I think this is a good use for this property and should benefit the area very well.
So, and this is relatively close to residential property, is it not?
It is, there is residential property to the north. Some of you may recall, there was actually a PUD approved there 3 or 4 years ago. They were looking at doing a little bit more high-density development. That never occurred. So right now, there's a home to the north. There is actually an existing masonry wall that screens this site and the commercial property to the west for that home, but they will be adding additional landscaping along their side of the wall to bolster that screening for that residence.
Okay, and generally speaking, the ordinance does not allow drive-through with a kiosk and an order station to avoid residents having to hear the noise, but this is a new model where people order on their phone and they have they'll have employees with iPad to type stuff in, so that avoids that issue and therefore complies with the ordinance.
That is correct. This
Okay.
does not, this is not a fast food restaurant as defined by our ordinance. So that separation requirement does not apply.
Okay. Trustee Matusek.
I have been to the Seven Brew coffee shops in other places. Fast, efficient, get your coffee in a hurry. Sometimes you need your coffee in a hurry. And I would be happy to make the motion to approve this
I'll
development.
second that motion.
Okay. Moved and
I
supported.
like my coffee.
Any further discussion from the board? From the public? Roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And as you can see, our finance director and assistant finance director, Mary and Jessica, coming to the podium. That brings us to item number 7, public hearing to review the proposed 2026-27 budget. And this will, Ms. McGrail, open the public hearing on the matter?
Are we going to have a vote to open the public hearing?
Do we need a vote? I don't think we do.
I don't know. If we need
I
a
mean,
vote,
typically
don't know.
would for a public hearing, but is it
Yeah.
just the presentation?
This
from
is the
this side?
presentation, yep.
We don't need a motion for that.
Okay.
All right. We do have some handouts if anyone would like a copy. Jessica has them. Okay. Good evening. Tonight, Assistant Finance Director Jessica Leha and I will be presenting the proposed budget for the fiscal year that covers April 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2027. It will include the major funds of the township with an emphasis on the general, police, fire, and water and sewer funds. The budget serves as a planning guide outlining the services being provided and how they will be funded in the upcoming year. It is a means of allocating financial and personnel resources and continues our conservative spending approach while keeping the township's commitment to providing high-quality, dependable services for our residents. As you know, Proposal A was established in 1994 to limit the annual increase in the taxable value of property in the state of Michigan. The limit was set at the lesser of the rate of inflation, or 5%. The rate of inflation was greater than 5% in the 2023 and 2024 fiscal years, causing the inflation rate multiplier applied to taxable value to be limited to 5%. The higher the normal inflationary environment has begun to stabilize. As a result, the rate of inflation for the current fiscal year is 2.7%. This will affect the township's tax revenues throughout the budget plan. In addition, new policies are being established at the federal level, which may impact availability of resources to fund projects. Therefore, it is imperative to control spending to minimize the potential effects of these uncertainties on township operations and the services we can provide. The full-time personnel summary, which begins on page 61 of the budget document, details the number of staff assigned to each department for the past 5 years. All salary and fringe benefits are based on current contracts, assuming full employment in the proposed budget. During the March 31st, 2024 fiscal year, the township's MERS defined benefit pension plan was closed to new hires. In its place, a 401A defined contribution plan was established for general employees hired by the township on or after January 1st, 2024. Capital expenditures are proposed to replace aging equipment and infrastructure. The capital outlay detail section includes the list of items requested by department beginning on page 65 of the budget document. The first fund presented will be the general fund. The township's largest revenue source in the general fund is revenue sharing from the state of Michigan, making up approximately 46% of general fund revenue. Constitutional revenue sharing, funded through state sales tax collections, is expected to increase approximately $73,000 in the 25-26 fiscal year. The state legislature continued the statutory city, village, and township revenue sharing program for the current fiscal year. The township will receive the standard CVTRS payment along with additional payments based on taxable value and population in the 25-26 fiscal year, which result in an increase in CVTRS payments of approximately $151,000. The state's initial projections for the upcoming year reflect a decrease in revenue sharing payments of approximately $264,000 for the 26-27 budget. The General Fund 26-27 revenue budget reflects a 4% increase in property tax revenues. Revenue received from cable franchise fees continues to decline with the decrease in cable subscribers. Interest rates are expected to decrease in the 26-27 fiscal year, resulting in a decrease in interest income. Other revenue is reduced due to a reduction in contributions received and election reimbursements. The 25-26 expenditure budget has been revised downward by approximately $841,000 from the current budget. The decrease is due to positions left vacant during the year and delays of capital outlay projects which have been transferred to the 26-27 budget year. An administrative merger of the Recreation and Seniors Departments was approved during the year, which resulted in the elimination of a director position. These decreases are partially offset by the inclusion of a transfer to the 41B Court Debt Fund to provide funds for the bond payment that will be due. Departmental budgets for the 26-27 budget year assume full employment and are showing increases due to contractual salary increases, an increase in healthcare hard cap, pension contributions, and the inclusion of capital outlay. Additional positions approved during 2025 that are reflected in the 26-27 budget include an Assistant Human Resource Director and a Park Maintenance Worker. The proposed budget also includes additional contributions to the MERS pension system equal to the required contributions for the year, totaling $2.9 million in the general fund. The actuarial report for retiree health care funding completed in September of 2024 determined that no contribution was required for general fund employees. As a result, no contribution is included in the proposed budget for general fund. The next actuarial report is scheduled for September 2026. Now we'll go through the highlights by department in the general fund for departments with significant changes. The 26-27 clerk's budget for part-time salaries, election workers, overtime, and postage have been increased due to upcoming elections. Education and training is budgeted at $21,000. Capital outlay includes $50,000 for election-related costs. The 26-27 unallocated cost budget includes transfers to the Capital Improvement Fund of $500,000 for infrastructure projects and $956,000 for technology upgrades. A transfer to the 41B Court Debt Fund is budgeted at $645,000 to subsidize the payment of the bond. The 25-26 budget has been increased for consulting services related to the additional overtime reporting requirements necessary to comply with the provisions of the One Big Beautiful Bill. The transfer to the Downtown Development Authority and the transfer to the Capital Improvement Fund for technology have been reduced to the actual costs incurred. A transfer to the 41B Court Debt Fund is budgeted at $442,000 to subsidize the payment of the bond. The Human Resources budget includes an increase in salaries and benefits to reflect the addition of the Assistant Human Resources Director position. The 26-27 Public Works budget reflects the addition of the Park Maintenance Worker. Part-time salaries have been budgeted to allow for 24 seasonal workers. Revenue includes $580,000 related to a grant for the Clinton River Water Trail that has been carried over from the previous fiscal year. Capital outlay is budgeted at $240,000. The 26-27 Smart Municipal and Community Credits budget reflects the cost of recreational bus charters and bus tickets totaling $39,000, which will be paid for with Smart Credits. The budget also assumes the continuation of the agreement with the Richmond Lennox EMS for provision of community transit services, which will be paid for with the transfer of $216,000 of current year Smart Credits, 100% of the Smart Specialized Services credits, and $100,000 of unused prior year credits. The 26-27 requested budget reflects the merger of the Recreation and Senior Center departments as approved by the board. The combined department will operate with one department head and two assistant department heads, one over each of the two divisions. This structure resulted in the elimination of one department head position from the budget. Education and training has been budgeted at $7,700. The Community Relations and Media Services budget reflects the additional cost to redesign the township website to comply with the new ADA Title II regulations mandated by the Department of Justice. Printing and publications includes funds for promotional communications. Capital outlay is budgeted at $90,000 for a video switcher, video cameras, and a workstation computer. The 26-27 Parks budget includes funds for the maintenance of the bike path along Metro Parkway in accordance with the maintenance agreement with the Huron-Clinton Metro Authority that expires in March 2030. Capital outlay has been budgeted for various projects totaling $1,850,000. As part of the budget process, we prepare a 3-year projection for the general police and fire funds. Included here is the list of assumptions used in the preparation of the budget and the projections. Tax revenues are projected to increase 1% in the 26-27 budget in the first year of the projection and increase 3.5% in the remaining projection years. Salary and fringe benefit increases are based on current contracts. The Public Act 152 hard cap for healthcare costs has been applied to all full-time positions in the budget. The projection assumes a 5% per year increase to the hard cap limit. Retiree healthcare contributions are equal to the actuarially determined contribution. Additional retiree healthcare contributions equal to the required contribution for the police fund for the requested budget and the 3 years of the projection. Additional contributions to the police and fire pension system equal to the required contributions for the requested budget and 50% of the required contribution for the 3-year projections. Additional contributions to the MERS pension system equal to the required contributions for 2027 and 2028. Inflationary increases in all other expenditures range from 1% to 5%, and the budget and the projections assume compliance with truth in taxation. When looking at the projections, there are a couple of things to focus on: revenues over or under expenditures and available fund balance. To gauge the health of the fund, we like to see revenues exceeding expenditures and fund balance to be at least 20% of the following year's expenditures. For the requested 3/31/27 budget and the first 2 years of the projection, expenditures exceed revenues in the general fund. Included in total expenditures are additional MERS contributions as shown at the bottom of the page. The board has prudently elected to make the additional contributions to fund the liabilities. The projections assume the additional contributions will continue to be made through the 3/31/28 fiscal year, after which we currently expect the unfunded liability will be paid and we can return to making just the required contribution. For fiscal year 3/31/29, expenditures exceed revenues due to capital outlay projects that have been proposed. We anticipate receiving grant funds to reimburse for a portion of the cost of the projects. The projections also include other capital outlay purchases and transfers to the Capital Improvement Fund for infrastructure projects and for technology improvements. Available fund balance and fund balance as a percent of the following year's expenditures are still decreasing each year through the 3/31/29 fiscal year, but the decrease is mainly attributed to the additional MERS contributions and capital outlay projects. Revenues are projected to exceed expenditures in the 3/31/2030 fiscal year. This would indicate that the changes implemented over the last couple of years are working to stabilize the fund. Fund balance as a percent of the following year expenditures is over the 20% target in the requested budget and throughout the projection, but before additional projects are undertaken or capital outlay purchases requested, all expenditures should be reviewed and long-term costs carefully evaluated to determine if the fund can afford the project. The 25-26 property tax revenue budget in the police fund has been increased to reflect the actual tax revenues billed. Additional revenue is expected to be received from a Justice Assistance Grant, State of Michigan CPE and Academy Assistance Programs, Michigan Small Business Taxpayer Exemption Reimbursements, and interest income. The 25-26 salaries budget has been reduced and the overtime budget increased due to vacant positions during the year. Part-time salaries, clothing bank, and education have been increased to pay for the costs related to sponsoring recruits at the police academy. The transfer to the 41B Court Debt Fund has been reduced to the balance that is reimbursable by the Police Fund. The 26-27 budget reflects the anticipated 4% increase in property tax revenue. Revenue from school districts to reimburse for school resource officers has increased due to include reimbursements for one half of an additional officer. A transfer from the opioid settlement fund is budgeted to pay for the other half of the additional officer. In addition, the transfers to the police fund from the DEA Task Force Fund and the Drug Forfeiture Fund have been budgeted at $200,000 and $100,000 respectively. The 26-27 expenditure budget reflects the additional school resource officer position that was approved during the current year, bringing the total number of sworn officers to 96. The contribution to the police and fire pension system for the 26-27 fiscal year totals $5,308,000, an increase of approximately $705,000 from the prior year. To increase the funding level of our retirement plans, the police fund budget includes an additional contribution to fund retiree health care of $1,594,000, an additional contribution to the police and fire pension system of $5,308,000, and an additional contributions to the MERS pension system of $229,000. Capital outlay has been budgeted at $191,000 for 3 police vehicles. Looking at the police fund projections, we once again focus on the revenues over expenditures line and the available fund balance line. In the requested budget and the first year of the projection, expenditures exceed revenues and available fund balance is declining, mainly because of the additional retirement plan contributions that are necessary to increase the funding level of the plans. We have made substantial progress toward funding the retiree health care liability and the MERS pension liability. We now need to focus on increasing the funding level of police and fire pension system and have included additional contributions to that plan starting in the 25-26 budget year and continuing throughout the projection. Fund balance as a percent of the following year expenditures is above the recommended 20% level throughout the projection, but is declining. As a result, before any additional projects are undertaken or capital outlay purchases requested, all expenditures and long-term costs of proposed projects should be carefully reviewed to determine if the fund can afford the project. The 25-26 property tax revenue in the fire fund has been increased to reflect the actual tax revenues billed. The 26-27 requested budget for the fire fund reflects the estimated 4% increase in property tax revenues. Additional revenue is expected to be received each year from Michigan small business taxpayer exemption reimbursements, interest income, and a transfer from the opioid settlement fund. The 26-27 expenditure budget reflects the continuation of current staffing levels. The annual required contribution to the police and fire pension system for the 26-27 fiscal year totals $4,073,000, an increase of $646,000. The proposed budget includes additional contributions to the police and fire pension system and the MERS pension system equivalent to the required contributions for the year totaling $4,073,000 and $43,000 respectively. The actuarial report for the retiree health care funding indicated that the funding level for the fire fund employees is high enough that an extra contribution is not required in the 26-27 fiscal year. Education and training is budgeted at $69,500. Capital outlay includes $600,000 for various building and parking lot improvements. In order to accumulate funding for capital purchases of very large and costly vehicles and equipment and building improvements, the 26-27 budget includes a transfer from the fire fund to the fire capital replacement fund in the amount of $1,925,000. Capital outlay in the fire capital replacement fund is budgeted at $120,000 for a staff vehicle and equipment. The remaining balance will be retained in the fund for purchases in subsequent years. Additional transfers into this fund in the future will be made based on the availability of funds. For the fire fund projections, revenues exceed expenditures, including the additional police and fire pension system contribution and MERS contributions. Available fund balance remains healthy and consistent throughout the duration of the projections, and the percentage is above the recommended 20% level, indicating that the fund is structurally sound. The Capital Improvement Fund provides for the purchase of technology and general capital-related items. The 25-26 budget includes technology improvements totaling $825,000, which are paid for by a transfer from the general fund. The 26-27 budget for technology-related items can be found in the capital outlay section of the budget document, totaling $956,000, which will be paid for by a transfer from the general fund. Included in this total is $700,000 for the server SAN replacement. Additional transfers from the general fund and the senior housing fund of $500,000 and $650,000 respectively will be made to contribute toward funding of infrastructure projects. The refuse disposal contract that was set to expire on March 31st, 2026 was extended for an additional 5 years in May of 2025. The 26-27 sanitation fund budget includes the anticipated cost of refuse disposal in accordance with the new contract. The budget also includes the corresponding customer rate increase that is proposed. Wood chipping services for 6 months of the year is also included in the budget.
For the Senior Housing Fund, the 26-27 budget reflects an increase in maintenance fee revenue and carport revenue in accordance with proposed rate increases. The agreement with the management company expired on December 31st, 2017, and is continued on a month-to-month basis, with the management fee remaining at $84,000 per year. Effective April 1st, 2026, the management company has requested a 2% increase in the employee compensation fee to provide raises to development employees. Capital outlay has been budgeted for various improvements to the facility and for replacement of flooring, countertops, and fixtures totaling $150,000, as well as $160,000 for land and building improvements and landscaping projects. Revenues for the water and sewer treatment remain consistent with amounts budgeted during the 25-26 fiscal year. Water and sewer treatment revenues for the 26-27 year are based on the projected figures determined with the rate model. The estimated cost of water is primarily based on the fixed and variable charges from the Great Lakes Water Authority and is expected to increase 5.8% during the 26-27 fiscal year. The estimated cost for wastewater treatment is based on fixed monthly fees charged by Great Lakes Water Authority and Macomb and Oakland Interceptor drainage districts. We have not received final information on rate increases for the upcoming year and have kept the monthly cost increase consistent with prior years. The 26-27 budget includes the additional contribution to fund retiree health care equivalent to the required contribution of $505,000. The budget also includes additional contributions to the MERS pension system equivalent to the required contributions. A program to repair sewer service leads has been instituted during the 25-26 fiscal year. The cost of the program will be paid for by the property owner and through federal grant funds. A list of proposed construction projects totaling $16,034,000 is included on page 59 of the budget document. These projects include improvements to water and sewer lines and pump stations. Capital outlay items totaling $910,000 have been proposed. Estimated debt service costs for the outstanding bonds have been included in the budget. The balance outstanding on the bonds issued by the township as of March 31st, 2026 will be approximately $6.7 million. Total debt service for the township issued bonds is budgeted at $1.12 million. The balance outstanding on the bonds currently issued through the Interceptor drainage districts as of March 31st, 2026 will be approximately $37.6 million. Total debt service for these bonds is budgeted at $4.37 million. Additional projects are expected to be undertaken by the OMID and MID drainage districts in the upcoming year, which may result in issuance of additional bonds. This concludes our presentation, and we are now open for any questions.
Great. Well, let me say thank you to both of you, as well as all the department heads that work directly with you. I know it's a stressful time producing a budget that accounts for the incredible amount of services that are offered here. If I could start, so I think the gist of this is that we're talking about $140 million total of all funds. And in the instance where individual funds, where the expenses exceed the revenue, it is primarily for two things. One, saving to meet our unfunded commitment that we've made to our employees in the form of pension and healthcare cost. correct? As well as some capital outlay projects that have been postponed, but in a sense have to be done. If we don't do them now, we wind up paying more later.
That's correct.
So I think what this presents is a healthy budget. The other thing that I think we can look at in terms of what constitutes a healthy budget is the amount of debt that our community has. And there's debt really just in two areas. One is the debt that the county has implemented to repair sewer lines that our lines connect into. We're more pay-as-you-go. They've issued debt. We have to take on our share of that debt, just like all of the other local communities, right?
That is correct.
Okay, and then the other area is in the area of the district court. The district court is comprised of three communities: Clinton Township, Mount Clemens, and Harrison Township. We're about 73% of that area, and as a result of that, when the court isn't bringing in the revenue that they need to sustain their operations, the local communities have to fund that debt on their behalf. And there's a bond payment for the court building, and we've been picking up basically the principal on that debt. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There is one more bond issue, and that was related to the purchase of the DPW building. God, I want to say 2000, do you remember when that was, Mayor? 2010 or something like that? So we've been making the payments on that. as
That's a
well.
very small amount. And
It's a small amount, and it
we're
was
close to seeing that
It was
paid.
specifically related to the building,
Right.
so.
So this is a budget that invests in our people.
Yes.
Invest in the infrastructure that they rely on to maintain a high quality of life within our community. Okay. That will open the floor for members. Questions, comments? Trustee Kress.
I got three questions for you. The new process we have here in the township, where the building department's writing tickets and doing collections and that sort of thing, have we looked at how that's going to negatively affect the court? We're already paying out of pocket. I mean, are we taking food out of their mouth because we're going to do this in-house and they're not going to be collecting fees as it was before? I mean, can we anticipate that $600,000 or $700,000 number to skyrocket because we're doing it in-house now? Have we looked at that at all?
I don't know how that affects the court's budget, because I don't do the
I
court.
think it works the other way, quite frankly. There's going to be less items going to court because there's a fine imposed if there's noncompliance. The key of the building department is compliance,
But they're going to be collecting revenue, though.
yeah, so when tickets are issued, the revenue will be paid to us rather than being paid at the court.
court, yeah.
But not too many of those actually go to court. When they do, the key there is compliance, and there's not been a lot of enforcement, and those cases tend to drag on for a very, very long time.
Okay. Second question for you. Page 60, sanitation fund.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. It says wood chipping, I believe that's reimbursement to DPW.
Correct.
It's 146, 127, and requested 130. Isn't it true that we collect $250,000 from our residents annually?
Did you say page 60? Yeah, it's not. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm sorry, what was your
Okay,
question?
it says that actual was a 146,000, estimate 127.5, and then requested $130,050. I thought we collected $250,000 annually from the residents. So why wouldn't all that money go to the wood chipping efforts, I guess you could say?
So
I can answer
I
that.
think it's important to understand that the budget reflects both the revenue and the expenditures. When it says under revenue, charges to customers, that reflects the charges that residents pay.
Correct.
Then, when the reimbursement goes to DPW, it is the charges of that service
Right.
on
Right.
the expense side.
reimbursement that goes to DPW is for DPW personnel operating those
Okay, so the
functions.
other $120,000 goes where? I guess that's my question.
So I think you're referring to the $250,000 that used to be budgeted. That doesn't mean we spent that money, that just means a budget, and that was assuming a year-round service many years ago.
I thought it was a line item on the
Oh,
water bill.
you're talking about the 23-24 number? That was what the reimbursement was in 23-24. I'm
When
trying
we
to
were-
figure out where you were coming up.
Right, when we were chipping year-round.
Right.
But now that we're not chipping year-round, we budget a different number. We budget a lesser number because we're only chipping for 6 months.
Right.
So that's why the actual number was
130,000.
130. We're budgeting 140 based on increases with salaries as well as possible overtime and so forth. But that's just a budget. That's a planned number.
Yeah.
All right.
It will be what we actually spend is what will get transferred.
And the 250,000, I think I see where you're saying, that was what happened in 2024, 23.
I thought that was a annual number we collected.
It was at that time when we were chipping for the whole year. We refigured that number every year based
So
on. The current year number
our
is
residents have
150,000.
realized the cost savings. I mean, that line item on their water bill has gone down.
Actually, we'll see on the next budget item
Yeah.
that we're seeing a larger increase from priority than what we're actually charging the residents.
Correct.
Because of the chipping and so forth. So you
Okay.
will actually see that. It's just a budget item, and the residents don't pay $250,000. They
Right.
pay a refuse fee,
Right.
which includes the chipping.
Okay, all right. And my last question, I didn't get to ask this at our budget workshop. The clerk's budget for '25 is $1.5 million. And I'm looking at Macomb Township, which has a population of 94,000 people, and their budget is 502,000. Maybe yourself or Clerk Meltzer can explain the $1 million discrepancy.
I haven't looked at the Macomb Township budget.
Yeah, we don't compare our budgets with another communities, like, generally, as far as I know, do we?
Yeah, well, I don't think that could be characterized as a discrepancy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Well,
it
no,
can be,
it's a,
here's their budget, here's our budget. If you're talking about a comparison, that would be reflected in their operations.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what to tell you
Okay.
about that.
All
I
right.
have nothing to compare that to.
okay, thank you.
Further questions from the board members?
Just a comment, though, regarding mine. Did
Clerk
everybody
Meltzer?
have a chance to look at my email? You did? Thank you, Julie. Yeah, okay. I knew you guys had a question with
Yeah,
funding for election.
I had a question about election equipment. because
Trustee
when I
Matusek.
was- When I was on the State Board of Canvassers 10 years ago,
Yes.
we approved all the vendors, and we had at that point saved enough money so that people could we could pay for the voting machines. Voting machines obviously hit a certain end of life. These
Right.
have been operating for 10 years, and no matter how well you maintain them, they're 10 years old.
Well,
And-
technology updates.
Right. So my question was, are we looking at, is there a schedule for updating these? And you addressed that in your memo, saying that in fact the state is looking at vendors again, and hopefully there will be some money for locals to replace machines.
Yep, in the report, it did state that this would be another 10-year contract. Generally, the funding goes, the first 5 years is paid for by the state, and then the last 5 years are paid by us. So it does give us some time to, manage whatever that outcome is going to be. Yeah, it's at the end of the 10 years, and I think there might be additional vendors to choose from, which might help with more competition, so we'll see how that plays out. But we're waiting on the state to, get the numbers from their RFP.
Right.
Okay.
That was it.
Further discussion from the board? I think it's important to note that the Finance Department has held a series of public hearing, well, I wouldn't say public hearings, workshops with the board members, both on the capital outlay expenditures, because those are the things that we can really control, right?
Right.
Other things, are more routine in the sense that we know what people make, we know what the contract says, we know what the wages costs are going to be. We are a service provider. Those services are performed in the community and they're performed by our employees. So the real discretionary items are mostly capital outlay.
Correct.
So that was done in the
was
fall,
November.
winter.
November.
Yep. So, and then just recently, a workshop was held with all of the specific line items and departments.
The operations side of it, yes.
Okay, seeing no further discussion from the board, members of the public.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Dana Duggar, 37852 Suburban, from the best neighborhood in this township. Question on your, first of all, in prior years, the more of the budget document was available online where you could do more analytics and look at more of the nuts and bolts, and currently all we have is the handout available, so it would have been very helpful to have the document where we could reference numbers of employees and these sort of things. That would be helpful.
It's on the website.
Couldn't find, it was not on the agenda website. Okay, so I didn't know where to look. Question on the sanitation fund line here for salaries and fringe benefits. Looking for clarification, that tripled. And what are the employees and why did that triple?
That's something we can take under advisement. Board asks questions, the public provides their comments. So
Okay.
we
well,
appreciate those
take under
comments.
advisement, and then you asked the question.
Can I ask his question?
Okay.
Can I ask his question?
Sure.
Could you answer Mr. Duggar's question regarding the sanitation salaries? Okay, take your time.
Off the top of my head.
Okay.
Did you just want to get back with it? Generally, the questions that come, it's very hard, I'm sorry, can I make a comment? Sorry.
Meltzer.
It's very hard when you don't have, the questions ahead of time to prepare for. So can our finance director get back with some of these questions that are being asked? Because she's got to go through quite a few documentation. I just think.
The answer can be provided to my office, and
Yeah.
we'll make sure that we can
Well, this is my
communicate the
question,
answer
so she's welcome to answer it.
both Mr. Duggar and Trustee Kress.
Yeah, Chris Kress.
Okay, so are you comparing, you're looking from the actual 331.25 to the estimate? Is that where you're talking about where it tripled?
First line under expenditure.
Okay, so.
That's what I mean.
It didn't, what's actually paid didn't triple. The reason that actual 331.25 is lower is because there's an accounting adjustment that has to get made related to pensions. And there was an accounting adjustment that was recorded in 2025 that reduced the number. The actual wages in 2025, just looking at the salary line, was 103,538. The amended budget is 108. What we're projecting is 112, and then the requested is 110. So they're very consistent numbers. It's an accounting adjustment that has to, one of the GASB's, GASB 68, the pension.
So when GASB changes the rules.
That's right.
You have to change how you reflect the numbers.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And, yeah.
GASB is the General
Governmental
Accounting.
Accounting Standards Board.
Okay.
They direct how the accounting rules we have to follow.
Okay. Trustee Kress.
Thank you for addressing my question. Thank you for all your hard work. And the budget meetings we have been very helpful. Thank you very much for your time and your dedication to the township.
Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no further items, we need a motion to receive and file.
I'll make that motion, receive and file.
And our intention is to approve the budget at the next meeting, so it's done by April 1st, our next meeting, March 16th. We have a motion and support. Roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
It was King.
Oh, was it King? I'm so
Trustee
sorry.
King.
I support, yeah, yes.
Okay, hang on one second. Make sure I get that right. Okay. Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuziak?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gillaham?
Yes.
Clerk Melzer, yes, motion passes.
Item number 8, recommendation for approval of the refuse rate increase.
Dear members of the board, the current refuse contract with Priority Waste is due to expire on March 31st, 2026. At the May 19th, 2025 board meeting, the Board of Trustees voted to extend this contract an additional 5 years. Pursuant to the contract extension, a rate increase will take effect on April 1st, 2026. The contract also includes annual increases of 3% beginning April 1st, 2027. On February 2nd, 2026, the Refuse Committee met to discuss a corresponding rate increase for township customers. Please refer to the accompanying rate increase chart for a detailed summary of the refuse rate increase and recommended customer rate effective 4/1/2026. The customer increase as shown is adjusted to reflect the priority rate increase and is inclusive of administrative and shipping fees. The recommended increase for customers is lower than the priority increase charged to the township. The committee voted unanimously to recommend the board approve the proposed customer refuse rate increase as presented and that it take effect on April 1st, 2026. The committee also recommended a 3% per year increase in the customer refuse rate that will correspond with the increase from priority. Please contact Finance Director Mary Hines, DPS Director Mary Bednar, or me for further information or questions concerning this recommendation. Sincerely, Dan Kress, Township Trustee.
Questions from the board? Do we have a motion?
I move adoption of the refuse rate increase. Not happily, but I do.
And the 3% increase annually?
And whatever
Yep.
it needs to say.
I'll support that.
We're supported.
Whatever it needs to say.
So can I add to, no, just kidding.
Julie and Bruce.
Well, so it's a refuse rate increase that is passed on to us from Priority Waste. We are then having to calculate what our rates are going to be, and it's not a one-for-one. It's actually less than the increase that is coming to us. However, it does include, during the duration of the 5-year contract, a 3% escalator per year. And so that is what your motion is, Trustee Matuzzi?
That is what my motion is.
And Trustee Kress in support?
Yes. Oh, no.
Bruce Wade.
Bruce Wade
Oh,
was,
I'm
yes.
sorry.
Yes.
Trustee Wade, okay. You're projecting your voice over here, I guess. So, questions from the board? From the public? I should say comments.
Sam Bushel, 18546 Wayland. You never mentioned what that increase is to the public. There again, our bill is now what, and it's going up how much? But also, of the bill that we pay, how much goes to Priority Waste and how much goes to the township for collecting it and other things that they're going to do with it? So we're never going to answer that. We're not going to say what the rate increase is. The public does not need to know. We'll find out April 1st. Quite a joke.
So, Mr. Bushell, you have the ability to comment, and we've heard your comment.
Oh, so thank you, board members, for nobody wanting to say.
I can
I can
make a
comment.
comment.
Okay.
I can respond.
He has the floor. He has 3 minutes to state what his issues are, and then he sits down, and then I'll recognize board members. Okay.
Okay, well, I hope that some of the board members think that the public should know what these numbers are. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bushell. Ms. Bednar, I think you can answer that question.
So the current rate to our customers for single family, and I'm just going to use that one because that is the majority of our customers are single family, 3 services. So it includes recycling, trash, and compost. Their current rate is $16.50 per month. The increase, and it is actually part of the agenda packet on the second page, the increase would be $20 to $20. So that's an increase of $3.50 per month. Now, the other part of his question was, what does Priority charge us? Prior to us increasing the rates based on our negotiations with them, they were charging us $13.65, and then their increase goes to $17.50. So their increase goes up $3.85, where our increase is only going up $3.50. So we are able to, with the chipping operation, changing in the chipping operation, and some admin changes, we were able to decrease that so it wasn't a full, the residents didn't see the full increase.
Okay, further comments from board members? Trustee King.
I just have a question for Ms. Bednar. Were those numbers that you listed off in the agenda packet for
Yes.
today?
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
As well as the other services for like condos that are 2 services and so forth.
Okay, further questions
And
from the
there you go.
board?
They're on the screen as well.
There you go.
We have a motion and support. Seeing no further discussion, roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam?
Yes.
Trustee King?
No.
Treasurer Aiello?
No.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
Okay, item number 9, recommendations for approval of board chambers, tables, and chairs.
Okay, hang on, I gotta change this now. I know. This is why I don't usually do that, because, okay, on that.
Mr. Gilliam, do you want me to just summarize since this was already in front of the board?
Oh, boy, no, it's not working. All right, hang
It's the
on.
same letter.
We're going to ask.
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So on February 2nd, 2026, the Building Committee met to discuss the RFP bid results for the Board of Trustees Chambers Desk and chair furnishings. The RFP was placed on BidNet with 5 proposals received on January 6, 2026, of which 2 came in under budget. A copy of all the bid tabulations for this project accompany this letter. The lowest responsive bidder is Innovair in the amount of $43,247.35. The design they propose both meets the requirement of the RFP and comes in under budget. The proposed layout and design are attached for your review. As a result, the committee motioned to recommend the board approve awarding the Board of Trustees Desk and Chair Furnishings project to Innovair, located at 905 Southland Avenue, Lansing, Michigan, 48910, in the amount of $43,247.35. Please contact Assistant Project Manager Brett Middlestead or myself for further information regarding this recommendation to award. Respectfully, Mary Bednar, Director of Public Services and Chair of the Building Committee.
Mr. Gilliam, if I can note real quick that
Ms. Bednar?
that number of $43,247.35 was revised. When looking at the bid tab, we realized they were only including 12 chairs instead of the 13 chairs. I believe that was because the one desk can be adjusted, assuming someone is in a wheelchair. But when that desk is being used and the person's not in a wheelchair, they'll need a chair. So it increases by the $700 and some. But I just wanted to point that out because the letter is a tad different, meaning that number was increased by that chair cost.
Thank you for that clarification, Ms. Bednar. Questions from the board? Trustee Kress.
Thank you. I'd like to first say that I know that Trustee Julie is going to be undergoing surgery and going to need special provisions or maybe a different table. But that said, like I said at the last meeting, I think spending $42,000 on furniture that's of no benefit whatsoever to the community, I think that's ludicrous. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to deny the board chamber tables and chairs. Thank you.
I'll support.
Motion and support. Discussion. Trustee Matuzak.
The need to change the tables is not a result of my having knee surgery.
Yeah.
This was a discussion that went on long before that. I just want to be very clear about that, and I raised the point that at some point this august body may be lucky enough to have somebody who needs to use wheelchair, and we should be accommodating. Just wanted to
Okay.
clarify that.
Yeah.
All right. And I'll add to the discussion, I'm not on the building committee, but I can tell you that these flimsy tables, I feel like I've almost knocked them down a couple of times. The skirting on here, this is not a wedding reception, it's a meeting of the board. And the furniture that was here prior is, when it was put back after COVID, board members said, how do we operate with such little space? I mean, it was basically a third of this size that we're currently operating under. And so for that reason, the building department was impaneled to look at this issue, take it to a bid process, and the amount budgeted, the actual bid came back less than what was actually proposed. And so as a result of that, I think we need to move forward with this issue and approve the recommendation. So I will be voting no on the denial of the request. Any further discussion? Trustee Wade.
Yes, I just wanted to mention as a follow-up. I did talk to several people who looked at what the prior furniture looked like, and I couldn't find anybody that really was in favor of that. So not only people on this board, but people on ZBA and Planning Commission, and they've asked to just retain what we have right now. They were perfectly comfortable with it.
Okay. Trustee King.
I just believe what we have right now is adequate. I think obviously we need to make some provisions for individuals who have need wheelchair or ADA, accessibility. But besides that, I think there's better use of funds that we could use within the township.
No further discussion? On the motion to deny the request? Is that what you're wishing to speak on? Public participation.
I also agree that what you have is probably going to be better than some tables. Also, as far as handicapped access, the handicapped access to your area is through the back room, and it's not going to change. And these tables would accommodate somebody that's handicapped. So it almost seems like, and I think having been here when the other situation was, the other situation was in place, that we still have in storage, it looked very much more professional than this, but I don't think right now, for what you need, standing pat sounds like the very much, much better use of the money. Thank you.
Okay, roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Trustee Kress?
Yes to deny.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
No.
Supervisor Gillaham?
No.
Treasurer Aiello?
No.
Clerk Meltzer, no. Motion fails.
Okay. We have a motion. The floor is open for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the request to furnish the project using Innovair in the amount of $43,247.35.
Is there support?
You need a second?
We need a second.
I'll make that second.
Motion to approve as presented, moved and seconded. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Yeah, public
Trustee
comment.
Wade?
It's a different motion.
No.
Sweet. It's a
Trustee-
different motion, but you already spoke.
Trustee
on the
Matuzak?
Issue, so.
That's a different motion.
Roll call.
We're in the midst of roll call. Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
I'm sorry, hang on. Trustee Kress?
No.
Supervisor Gillaham?
Yes.
Trustee King?
No.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item number 10, recommendation for the opioid settlement fund expenditures.
Last term, the Clinton Township Board allocated funds to various entities. This memo requests allocation of additional funds. Chippewa Valley Coalition, $105,250 per year for 3 years, for the total of $315,750. They promote healthy, resilient, and drug-free youth and fight teen suicide through awareness, education, and outreach. They want to hire a youth specialist to expand their existing services to the middle school level and incorporate anti-opioid messaging into their program. They will also use the funds for printing, deterra bags, and other supplies. Comprehensive Youth Services, CYS, has provided outpatient services to individuals and families for 4 decades. They are requesting $22,568 per year for 3 years, for a total of $67,704. This would be used for transportation to get people to appointments and for safety kits. Safety kits include Terra disposal pouches, lock boxes, fentanyl test strips, and xylazine test strips. Student Resource Officer. We have already committed opioid funds to a Chippewa Valley SRO. We have an existing SRO at Clintondale. We would like to reimburse the police fund for the township's share of that existing SRO. The estimated cost is $100,000 for 1 year. We will not commit to future years until additional settlement dollars are received. Legal counsel will craft the appropriate agreements. Your consideration of this committee's recommendation is appreciated. This was submitted by Paul Gilliam, Supervisor.
I'll turn things over to Deputy Supervisor O'Leary for a synopsis of the opioid settlement and the process in which the recommendations were crafted.
Okay, so this board and its predecessors authorized participation in the litigation. You have received $2.2-ish million so far, and we've spent about 1.6 of it, so you have just under $600,000 more to spend of what's been received. The opioid committee has taken the position, and you've supported that we will only spend what we have in hand because the projections coming from the various parties about what the future looks like are very unreliable. So we don't want to get out ahead of our skis, right? So we're asking you to spend the remainder of what we've received, and we have those 2 outside organizations, and of course, I can represent the sheriff here. If you do want to ask any questions of the 2 outside organizations, we do have Dr. McGunn here from Chippewa, and I believe Heather Cole is here from CYS. So, any questions you have for them as to how they're going to spend the money, but the CYS request was very modest, but very much to the point of what they do. And Chippewa is looking to take what they do already at the senior high school level and bring it down to the younger ages where a lot of the bad things start to happen, right? So that's the gist of the 2 proposals. But I'm sure they're happy to speak to it further if you guys want to hear from them.
I want to make sure that the recipients of these funds as a part of this recommendation are given an opportunity to discuss anything they want to add. Want to actually open the floor for that process. And if not, we can just go to questions. So, Trustee Kress?
Oh, I think we do have it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good. Yep. We do appreciate the partnership that's being developed.
Thank you, Mr. O'Leary. I also want to emphasize, I'm Charlene McGunn, Director of the Chippewa Valley Coalition for Youth and Families. Our funds, in addition to early prevention, again, as Mr. O'Leary mentioned, focusing on middle school, but with the idea of preventing use and addiction of the substances that are preliminary to opioid addiction in young adult life. That jump happens at 18 and on. But also, the funding will be utilized to enhance our partnership with community groups that do opioid awareness education, and partnership including our senior center that we've worked with for a long time. So it's focusing on youth and community.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just ask Charlene?
Clerk Meltzer.
Thank you. Just one First of all, well, let me just say this. What you're doing is incredibly powerful. I was able to attend one of your meetings, and it's open to the public, so the public can participate as well. It's an incredible opportunity, eye-opening, and most of us that are here, well, I shouldn't say most, but some of us that are here that are my age and up, didn't have that opportunity, didn't have that education. And now it seems that it's so important, not only at the high school age, but reaching down where you can plant those seeds and let these children and parents know there's other options, and that the kids don't have to conform to peer pressure, because there's so many of your kids that are involved in this program. I wanted to ask you to remind me, between Dakota and Chippewa Valley, how many students are involved in your program?
We have over 300 high school students. Actually, over 200 of them are at Chippewa Valley. And it was actually on their consistent advice, because we do focus groups with our students, that they advised us to look at middle school. Mm-hmm. They said if you really want to prevent addiction in high school and young adult life and further, you need to start early. You need to look at middle school.
So I can't thank you enough for the work that you guys do. It's just a wonderful contribution to our community and really makes our community a great place to live.
Oh, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Anyone here from Comprehensive Youth Services? Okay.
Hi, I'm Heather Cole. I'm the program director at Clinton Counseling Center, which is a part of Comprehensive Youth Services. We've been in the community since 1984. We provide direct services for individuals that struggle with mental health and substance use disorders. So the services that we are looking to enhance right now is to be able to provide material items to prevent in the homes children from being able to access, say, unused opiate prescriptions, adolescents experimenting, getting into medications that haven't been properly stored or disposed of. Additionally, the biggest part of what we're looking for is transportation for individuals who are attending our intensive outpatient program, as well as our outpatient services. We know that retaining them in services ensures a higher success rate with treatment. Right now, transportation is the biggest barrier for our folks. We're open later in the evening hours. Bus services aren't always ideally safe for some of our folks later at night. Transportation through Medicaid is incredibly unreliable. They cancel appointments. They don't pick them up for several hours. They're not able to arrive on time for appointments. We're really seeking, especially for our Clinton Township residents, to be able to provide them with that reliable access to treatment so that we can ensure their success in treatment.
One thing I just want to add, Ms. Meltzer, gave kudos to the Chippewa Valley Coalition, and well-deserved as well. I want to say that I personally know a young man who was a part of your program that was kicked out from his house, not because of substance abuse issues, but other related issues. And I can tell you that he had a place to live because of your group. There was coordination to get this young man a job, to finish his education, and he is an incredible success to this day. And I give a lot of credit to the wraparound services that your group provided.
Thank you.
So, Trustee Kress.
Are you a standalone not-for-profit?
We are a non-profit. I can talk today, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, so we take reimbursement through Medicaid services. We also take fee-for-service and private insurance pay for services through traditional insurance. Also community block grant through the county if they qualify financially.
Okay. Just on your list here, the safety kits,
Yes.
Can you tell me what the safety kits and what exactly they entail and their reason or what they're for?
Sure. The safety kits would include Deterra medication disposal bags. So that's a substance that will deactivate medications and then allowing appropriate disposal, like you can toss it in the trash at that point. So they're no longer it deactivates the chemical compound in it. It would also include medication lock boxes. So many of our families and individuals are prescribed many different medications. Some of those include opiate painkillers after surgeries, minor accidents, things like that. We want to be able to have them store it safely where kiddos can't get access to those. Medication lock boxes would help ensure that and reduce accidental overdoses from that perspective. The xylazine and the fentanyl test strips, we have found, not just we, there's evidence in the literature that substances that are traditionally not linked with opioids or with overdose potential are being laced with those substances. Unsuspecting individuals are then experiencing overdose from those. Being able to test those ahead of time to make sure that they're not being laced with that does a couple things. One, reduces the overdose potential. Also, gives them the opportunity to avoid using those substances and then subsequently becoming addicted to those substances on top of whatever they might be using.
So you'd use those strips for recreational drugs?
They can be used for recreational drugs, but they can also be, if they, unfortunately, some of our folks that are unable to afford their prescription medications are looking for those prescription medications on the street in alternate pathways. Those also could be laced with those substances.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, the third.
Julie has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'll
It's
just.
not a question.
I'll just finish that point. The third proposal is reimbursement for the school liaison officer at Clintondale Schools. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So it's already an existing school resource officer. In fact, this is providing relief to the police budget by reimbursing for that our half of that officer. And since we don't have enough money to cover 3 years of that, everything else we've done 3 years because it takes a while to have an impact. This is only for 1 year. We can revisit it again next year when we get additional funds, because that's all in-house.
Excellent. And so the opioid settlement dollars are delivered to those municipalities, counties, local governments. They flow through the state of Michigan, but there are provisions in that settlement agreement that they have to be used for prevention and programs
Education,
that, so I'll let you.
Mitigation and risk reduction and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Our primary focus has been prevention and education, but there's other categories.
Okay. And then I'll take the opportunity to, again, thank you, Mr. O'Leary, as well as Trustee Matuzik, Trustee King, and Clerk Meltzer for serving on the opioid committee to vet these proposals as they come forward.
Our pleasure. I'd like to take a motion.
And so with that, there are questions, Trustee Matuzik and then Trustee Kress.
Two things. I wanted to say, I think the work we have collectively done on this committee has been probably some of the best work I've done in my entire career. We were very clear, number one, we're only spending money that we have in hand because we don't trust the attorneys out there who tell us one thing or another. Sorry, Linda, but that's the way it is. And that additionally, we wanted to approach organizations that had a track record of working in the field and being successful with what they do, really focusing on prevention and mitigation. And additionally, we didn't want to fund projects that were doing what they were already doing. They have other sources for that. So what we asked each group was, what is something that would be on your wish list? Something you could really use that would enhance your program, but not substitute for what you're already doing. And all of the groups we have funded last year and this year have really done that. And I think that that's a really important thing we're doing, because there's lots of, CYS does a great job with the intensive inpatient or in-house counseling. But if you can't get home at 9 o'clock at night and you go to the bus stop and someone's at the bus stop offering you stuff, that's not helpful for your recovery. So that, I thought, was a really innovative and creative thing. There are some things we didn't fund. We didn't fund the dog at the court system. That's a sticking point for people.
That's my question.
But I'm really proud of this work. I think we are taking this money, we are multiplying it in effective ways in the community among the 6 projects that we have funded. And I just think it's, as we should be really, Clinton Township should be really proud of what we're doing with this opioid money, as opposed to just spending it on the same old stuff. So my second point, we have an ethics ordinance in Clinton Township for those of us who are elected officials, where you have to list businesses and any other organization that you receive compensation from. I have always thought that that was inadequate, that if you serve on the board of a nonprofit and you're in a decision-making role, even if you are not receiving compensation, that should be listed on our ethics form. And I've never successfully been able to move that, but I wish to make a personal example. I probably was on the CYS board for 20 years. I haven't been on it recently, but I have certainly listed it in my campaign literature. I've never received any compensation from them, and I know personally that they do fabulous work. But I just wanted to state that out there.
Okay.
And perhaps we can work on the ethics ordinance later.
Thank you, Trustee Matuszek. Trustee Kress.
She stole my thunder. Last go-around, the court was here asking for a dog.
Yeah.
And I want to know why we haven't fulfilled their request.
I want to buy me a dog because I need a friend now. You're old enough to remember that song.
You need a friend.
Yeah.
The decision not to fund the dog was,
among many other things they asked for. They asked for a lot.
Was driven a little bit by trying to focus on, some core things, but also the fact that we're dealing with a building that is a court building where a lot of people are there, and we're having a little trouble wrapping our heads around the liability issues of a dog on site. That's, in all honesty, that was.
What's the cost of the dog?
I want to say it was $5,000 up front and maybe a few thousand a year to take care of it. Does that ring a bell? It's been a while.
I don't know.
I think we need to refocus ourselves back on the actual recommendations that are before us.
Can I make a motion to approve?
Rather than the ones that were not recommended by the committee. So, Ms. Meltzer, you're making the motion?
Please.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. Further discussion?
Will you consider a dog next time? How much money do we have left over? Let me ask you that.
We're out of money now, but we'll be getting more in 2026.
Yeah. We'll revisit the issue.
We'll have a sit down with the court and see how things are going. That's makes sense to you.
No, it doesn't, but okay.
It'll make sense when we're done.
Clerk Melzer, yes. Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuszek?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Thank you for sitting here throughout the course of this meeting as we toiled through the other agenda items to get to yours. Item number 11, resolution authorizing signature on county blanket maintenance permit application.
During a recent review of our records, it has been determined that the existing blanket maintenance permit for service lead taps and emergency repairs to existing utilities has expired. This permit allows for your forces to make emergency repairs to your facilities within our right-of-way, as well as install water service and sanitary leads. To complete the update, we need a resolution stating the following. Which persons are appointed to represent you by signature to the permit application so that the permit requirements will be fulfilled as set forth on the blanket maintenance permit. And also, the Macomb County Department of Roads will be held harmless from claims that may arise because of this operation. Enclosed, you will find your annual maintenance application for 2026. Please sign the application where indicated, return the white copy to us with a valid certificate of insurance listing the Macomb County Department of Roads as additionally insured and certificate holder in the envelope provided. You may retain the pink and blue copies for your records. This permit will be issued for a period of 5 years, at which it will be reissued, at which time. Should you have any questions, please contact Nora. Sincerely, Macomb County Road Department, Robert Bush.
Mr. Gilliam? The resolution is attached.
So the resolution is attached to Ms. Bednar. This is basically the county signing an agreement with us that allows us to operate within the right-of-way when we're doing work.
Right, so for example, if we have a water main break that's in the right-of-way, we have a permit so that we can go in and do that, fix that water main break in a timely, reasonable, without trying to get a permit and letting the water run and inconveniencing the residents. Or when we make taps to the water or to the sewer for new developments, most of those taps are in the right-of-way. So this gives us a generic permit for being able to do everyday and emergency type things. It is not a permit to do, say, a water main project. We would then have to get a different permit from the Department of Road when we're doing a major project. But this is for the day-to-day operation and then emergency operations.
Okay.
And the resolution that's attached has asked for the Director of Public Service and the Assistant Superintendent for Water and Sewer to be able to be the people that can sign this paperwork.
Okay. Floor's open for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, moved and supported. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Clerk Melcher, yes. Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam?
Yes.
Excuse me, Trustee King?
Yes.
Sorry.
All set? Yeah. Okay. Item number 12.
Did I not say motion passes? Maybe I didn't. I'm sorry, maybe I didn't.
don't know.
Sorry about that.
All right. Item number 12, introduction of ordinance 504, amendment to Chapter 106, all-terrain vehicles, snowmobiles, and unlicensed motor vehicles. A recommendation from the e-bike and motorized subcommittee. Not sure who wants to speak on this, but Trustee King, I know you've kind of been running point, so.
Yes, it's clear here in the agenda packet. I really want to just take a moment to say thank you to the residents and students who's taken a part to be a part of this. I think it's great to be able to have our residents have a voice, particularly our younger ones, be able to weigh in. So we've got students from International Academy of Macomb. We've got Clintondale, and we've got Chippewa Valley represented, and then we have some other residents that are a part as well, in addition to our department heads. So I just want to say thank you to that, and we need to get this in the books quickly so that we can try to act here before the weather breaks and gets nice, and we can act to make sure that we're doing what we can to keep our residents safe at our township properties.
And so if I could, kind of the essence of the problem here is you now have these e-bikes that are pedals, but then there are motorized, gas-powered things operating throughout the township, civic center, public right-of-ways, and where it becomes a particular issue is at the bike path when you've got people walking, you've got people biking, and kids are flying by folks, not kind of using the courtesy signals of on your left or, things of that nature. And so we're looking for solutions without being too restricted or hard-handed, but it's about safety.
And if I could add, this is a situation, thank you, Paul, but, this is a phased approach. So the ordinance is one phase, but it's also about education and communication. We've got to work hard to get to the schools to make sure that we're doing what we can to educate the students who are utilizing the bikes. We've got to do what we can to make it to the parents and be able to speak to them about what's appropriate, hopefully, and know what they're purchasing for their children. And also just, it's about what we're doing actually at our township properties when we're able to explain the courtesy and making sure that we're just reinforcing, hopefully, things that we already talked about, whether it be at school or whether it been via PSAs and other things. And so this is just one step as the ordinance, change, but we've got other things that we've got in play, and we're going to be meeting this week, Wednesday, at I believe we're at 3:30 here that we're meeting. So if any residents would like to come join us, this week, we would appreciate it because feedback is always welcome. As Paul mentioned, we're not trying to be heavy-handed, and this is just really about a matter of safety and making sure that we're respecting our property as well, because there is property damage that sometimes comes along with the use of these items, and we're just looking to keep our township safe and keep our property in a good way. Thank you.
Okay. Further comments from the board? Trustee Wade.
First of all, I do want to thank Trustee King, and I know, Dan, you did a lot of work on this, and you really brought the issue to us some time ago, and I totally appreciate that. I'm going to have to vote no on this, and I want to tell you why. I don't think we should allow the bikes on township property at all. Because if you go there, and we've had people come to the board and talk about it, we were all 14, 15 years old. These people have no concept of safety, no concept of danger. And I think acknowledging the fact that, yes, you can come and ride on township property, take an event like the fireworks, that place is packed. And you give the acknowledgement for young people to bring their e-bikes up there. I think it's a recipe for a disaster. I love the fact that it was brought forward, but I'm going to vote no because I don't think we should allow the bikes at all.
Okay. Just a point of clarification, because the motion actually hasn't been made yet and isn't on the floor. This is the introduction of the ordinance. So ordinances are a two-step process. One is introduction and opening of the public hearing. Ms. McGrail, is that correct?
Introduction and publication.
Introduction, publication, and public hearing, right?
Well, public comment, yeah,
Yep,
not a true
okay.
public hearing.
Okay. And so do we want to make that motion before we turn things over to public participation or further discussion?
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second that.
Okay. Been moved and supported. Treasurer Aiello.
Yes, I'd like to make, seeing this ordinance is all about safety, I understand, correct? I feel because these bikes they're not very high off the ground, for the safety of the rider and the safety of ongoing traffic, the vehicles, people driving cars, I would like to see some safety features put on these bikes, like a fiberglass flag, about 6 foot tall in the back, bright orange or red. I also would like to see a headlight on the front and a tail light on the rear that are operable during daylight time. Again, for the safety purposes of not only the rider and also other vehicles or pedestrians, because, we want to protect the well-being of our, say like there's a mother pushing a child, a baby on a pathway or wherever, the quality of life of that mother, I talked to our attorney about this, and she said, well, we would be, protected under the law if there was an accident. But what happens if that bike injured the baby and killed the baby? That mother doesn't have that baby anymore. So we got to look at this a little more deeper for safety of the seniors and the mothers pushing the babies as well. And I'd also like to add, I don't want to sound tough, but in this society, when I was a kid growing up, we feared the four-letter word fear. We didn't want to get in trouble, so we feared our parents. We feared the law. Today, I don't think most people have no fear, so I'd like to see a 3-strike rule for third-time offenders, the $500 fine, but also add to it automatic confiscation of the bike.
Okay. Further discussion from board members. Trustee Kress.
Mr. King, I'd like to thank you and thank anybody who's worked on this committee. I think it's a great start. I agree with a lot of what Bruce said, and I think that's something we could add at a later date or hone it, but I think we need something on the books to start with and to modify, and I think what you brought today is a good start.
Trustee King.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Bruce, take what you're saying with great weight. I will say there's certain things that we have to consider in regards to ADA, and some of these bikes, we do need to be able to look at, to be able to allow for folks who want to be able to enjoy our parks, but need the assistance for various reasons for ADA compliance. Not saying that what you're saying is not important, and we can certainly take that under consideration. This is going to be a work in progress. This is something that, as quickly as these e-bikes have came in, and in a lot of ways have created some chaos and obviously some safety concern and property damage issues that we're concerned about. We're also in a situation where we're going to have to pivot and be able to work with this. We want to be a township where everybody can enjoy, and that includes individuals who would want to be able to utilize these bikes appropriately. It would be no different than someone just riding a pedal bike and just and being able to enjoy our township. So I think we want to be prudent. I think we don't want to necessarily overstep prior to having more information and being able to look at this. But I certainly take what you're saying, Bruce, and thank you, Mike, for your feedback as well. We'll take that under consideration, and we've got a meeting this week and would welcome both of you to be able to attend if you can make it.
Trustee Matuzik and then Clerk Meltzer.
I do appreciate the committee working on this, and it's a very difficult issue. The reality is that most of this is a state-level issue. We need rules and regulations regarding e-bikes, gas-powered e-bikes, pedal bikes, not pedal bikes. It's very complicated, and clearly our laws have not kept up with this technology. That being said, I would love to outlaw them entirely, but I don't think we have the power to do that. So I think this is a really good first step. I think it gets our foot in the door for public education, and I hope there is a strong education component with parents and in the schools, and that we can really push this information. I don't think it goes far enough. I will vote for this because I think it is a first step, and we just have to figure out how to keep it going. I mean, I get buzzed by people on bicycles when I'm on the bike, the walking path. They come up behind you and they whiz right past you, or the folks on the rollerblades. I mean, I think a lot of this is common courtesy about how you use public trails, but I do think we need to have some way to enforce when they're tearing up the Arboretum or when they're rushing through the crowd at the fireworks or whatever they're doing there, that we have some method of stopping them and saying, you're going too fast, you don't have a helmet, let's talk to your parents. So I will vote for this, but I think there's so much more we could do with this.
Clerk Meltzer.
Thank you. I have a question about the ADA comments. I heard that, and I'm trying to figure out how federal ADA compliance would not be applicable. I mean, if we don't have this, wouldn't mean that somebody with an e-motorized wheelchair or something couldn't use it. I don't think that's the case. I guess I need clarification on what is meant by this is a barrier to ADA compliance if we don't approve this tonight.
No.
And I was going to ask the attorney that. And by the way, let me just say, thank you for the work you guys have done on this. I think it's great. I really do. I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around the ADA thing. If the attorney could answer that question for me.
No, we specifically in this ordinance provide for the ability of someone with disabilities to be able to use a motorized scooter if they need to, and I think even as.
Linda, I think you need to speak in the mic.
And even as we sit now, if we don't take any motion, obviously, you're allowed to use the electric wheelchairs or whatever it is that you need for mobility purposes.
Yeah, I still think it does. What I'm asking, I guess, is I don't see that this takes away anybody's right with a disability.
I didn't say it did.
Okay, no, well, I didn't even say you were the one that brought it up. Well, yeah, you kind of did mention it, actually, but before that even, there was discussion about it, and I just couldn't get my head wrapped around it because I know we have federal laws that protect people with disabilities, so I don't see this as restricting that in any way. Even if we didn't or prohibited the use of the e-bikes in our township parks, I think we can do that, can't we, Attorney McGrail? We could prohibit, excuse me, e-bikes on our township property, correct?
On our township property, correct, just like currently we do that with, I think, snowmobiles, so it'd be very similar to that.
Yeah. And I know that you also said, Attorney McGrail, that we do have governmental immunity, but I do feel as though this is where a lot of people come. They want to, bring their young children and they want to have fun. And I'll tell you, I had a near situation, accident just yesterday, or no, I'm sorry, Friday, as I was leaving work. And there were 2 young kids on some kind of motorized bike right behind a car. And thankfully, as I was walking to my car, I saw them. So by the time I got in my car, I'm like, I don't see these kids anywhere. And so I crept along really slowly. And as I approached one of the parked cars, they were right there. And I'm like, if I had not seen them as I was walking up to my car, I might have just traveled off like I normally do, which might not have been fast, but too fast when there's young kids, on a bike.
We've seen you tearing out of this parking lot. I'm just kidding.
How's that any different than a bicycle, though? If they were just on a regular bike, how's that any different, Kim?
Huh?
If they were in a regular bike, how would that be any different? Are you saying they're traveling too fast in general?
No. What I think is that they're so popular right now, and parents are getting their kids the latest, greatest toy, and the kids are out, and they're just not recognizing the danger that's associated with it. And the kids are out and about doing whatever they want, and the parents are maybe not realizing where they are. And so it's an increased danger. I am with Trustee Wade on this one. I don't like it. I think we should. Not that I don't like the work that you've done on it or anything like that. I just don't like allowing this type of activity on our township property. And I think, I agree with Trustee Wade that we should prohibit it altogether.
Okay.
I have a follow-up.
So, Ms. Bednar.
So we got to be careful because township property includes our pathways, our bike hike pathways along the spillway, as well as the Bonnyard Trail, as well as the pathway that connects the Civic Center to Bud Park, Canal Park, and George. And we do receive funding for that. And there's the state is struggling with it right now because if we were to ban it completely, there's a chance we couldn't get funding in the future to be able to do the restoration and so forth. So we have to be careful. When you're saying township properties, recognize that these are also the pathways that are connecting ours that we maintain and we built and we use grant funding for it. I do agree that they're very dangerous. The 10 mile per hour, I can't run that fast, but I know some people that can. So that is a good speed, but it's not, but these bikes can go up to 20 miles an hour. So the idea is that we're slowing them down. My question would be, it says 10 miles per hour for e-bikes. Is that 10 miles per hour for all bikes? Because I know lots of people that can bike faster than that without an e-bike.
Right.
So is that the speed limit for e-bikes and all bikes, or basically the speed limit for the pathways? Or are we looking at just for the e-bikes?
It was just for e-bikes. That was all that was discussed at the committee.
Okay.
Okay. Public participation?
Wait.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bruce and then Trustee.
Real quick as a follow-up, again, I think this issue being brought up, it's a great thing, and I'm very supportive of it. I just don't think it goes far enough. And there's so many other things tied to that, because you have to realize a kid's going to, say, the Arboretum. He's got to drive down Romeo, Plank, all these other streets to get there. So it's not just the one issue. And I don't know what your experiences are. I can tell you on Halloween night, Rivergate was terrorized by packs of these e-bikes. And I know that's an unrelated issue. But the concept is when you give parents permission to buy their kid there and say, well, yeah, you can take it over to the township offices and drive them around. I think we're opening up the floodgates. And that's just my opinion. Trying to enforce something that's 10 miles an hour, good luck with that.
Yeah, I agree.
The other thing is, you know, you can put on there until the cows come home about staying on the sidewalk. I would bet a paycheck these kids aren't going to stay on the sidewalk. They're doing what's fun, what's quick, where their friends are. This is very hard to enforce. It really is. I know there are guidelines, and I think it's a great idea that we've got the conversation started. My only opposition to it is I think we need to ban them altogether, and that's just my opinion.
Further discussion from the board. Trustee Matuzik.
What is the definition of an e-bike? I mean, this is a serious question. There are bikes with pedals, there are bikes with pedals and engines, there are electric bikes, there are electric bikes with engines. I'm not sure I know what an e-bike is to begin with. And I think our ordinance, if this comes back, needs to come back with those kinds of definitions. The definition of township property being sort of spelled out, the definition of what is an e-bike. I'm not sure we're ready for prime time yet.
Okay. So, just as a reminder, introduce and publish.
Right.
So that's what the motion is.
And now we can get lots of comments.
We can get comments. The committee is meeting, I think, soon?
Wednesday.
Trustee King?
We're waiting Wednesday.
In a couple days. So I think this is a good discussion for the committee to continue their work. People have debated whether they're for it or against it. So hopefully we won't have to repeat that process next week. We can say, refer to my comments at the previous meeting. But this is what is been brought forward by the committee, and it's an ongoing discussion and ongoing work. Further discussion from the board?
I wanted to answer.
All right.
Go ahead, Kim.
Clerk Meltzer.
Okay. It's essentially a bicycle with an integrated electric motor that helps with propulsion. Riders can pedal as usual, but the motor provides a boost, making hills easier, headwinds less challenging, and longer distances more manageable.
I can say I have friends with e-bikes, and sometimes they pedal. Sometimes they hit the little button, and it engages the electric motor and assist. So there's e-bikes that assist with pedaling, and then there's motorized vehicles, like gas-powered, and so certainly a lot of
There's three
runs the
different
spectrum here.
There's three different classes.
Trustee King.
There's three different classes, and it does get to be confusing. One has throttle base, some have no pedals, some do have pedals, and it's pedal assist. There's a number of different things with it. What I would really welcome is that I appreciate everyone's feedback, and I know the committee does as well. I really welcome if you have the opportunity to either send me your comments. I've certainly got them here, but if there's additional thoughts and things, please send them to me. Or come to the meeting on Wednesday to be able to share some additional and be able to, hear the feedback. We can have that conversation live and have a bit of a debrief, and then we can go forward from there. I just want to leave my comment here of this saying that we want to make sure that our township can be enjoyed by everyone. And I'm not saying that what people said here today is not indicative of that or not, but I just want to make sure that we're just being mindful of that buying a gift for your child and hoping that they're able to take advantage of it in a safe and responsible way. I would hope that we'd be able to find a way to make things work for everyone within our township in a way that everyone can enjoy it.
Okay. Further discussion from the board. Public participation. Mr. Leppo.
I just wanted to mention that we do have a meeting Wednesday at 3 in room 200, so it would be wonderful if some of you could show up if you have an opportunity to hear you express your ideas. I'm not surprised at all to hear all the different opinions. We all have them. We all agree that we need to make sure that it's safe for everyone. I had a certain opinion of my own. The proposed recommended ordinance amendment says that e-bikes would be allowed on township property on paved surfaces, not unpaved. The Arboretum and two parks have unpaved surfaces, so that would eliminate them from the Arboretum. Of course, we have to put signage up, Mr. Wade, that indicates to the young people, e-bikes prohibited or no e-bikes, so they understand. They can't go down the 3 locations at this point. We had to decide if we use a scalpel or a hammer to solve this problem. We don't know that we're going to solve the problem, but we would like to not deny public access to young people who have e-bikes. I understand what you're saying. It's a problem. So if we deny them, if we say they have access on township property, on paved surfaces, they would be allowed to go on the sidewalks. I ride a bike. I can ride it 12 to 14 miles an hour. The proposed amendment limits them to 10 miles an hour. We have an officer on our subcommittee, Captain Coppola, and he said the first thing would be to get the ordinance. And my officers know what the rules are. And kids aren't going to read ordinances. We understand that. So we have to have some signs, 10 miles per hour. And the officer said it's going to be difficult to measure that speed, but they can tell when a kid's flashing by pedestrians on the sidewalks with dogs, with kids in the hand, and they're ripping by. That's a violation. They're going to do what they have to do. And yes, we know that from the incident reports, most of the kids are going to split. When they see an officer, they're going to head. But Officer Coppola says, give my officers credit. He says, they have areas that they patrol. They see a kid and he runs. Okay, I see what you look like. I'm going to see you again and again and again. He said, ultimately, we're going to catch a few. And the important thing is when you catch those few, there are citations that and there's penalties, 100.
30 seconds.
$250, $500. When the word gets out and the penalties are paid, you're going to see something happen. We would rather go soft and see how it works out. Mrs. Matusak said, we need to evaluate a year later. Well, that's what we're going to do. Let's take a look and see, take a soft approach, don't deny access, see how it works out. Maybe it'll work out without the hammer. You know what I'm saying? And then if it doesn't, then we can come back and reevaluate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Leppo. Public participation?
I'm gonna have to go take a picture of some of the signs tomorrow, but on much of the bike trails, and I've used them extensively over the years, it's strictly no motorized vehicles on the bike trails, and it's for a good reason there again, because they're very quiet, just like bikes are. And if you've ever had little kids you're walking, or even if you're biking yourself with kids that are going slower, you don't need it. And it's a matter of, I think it's unless there's some new state law that says you can't disallow motorized vehicles, I think recreation areas probably don't need motorized vehicles. And I think it's worked out very well. Also, you have to understand, to put a 10-mile speed limit on in a township that does not even have a road patrol, we don't have any traffic division. Good Lord, this is ridiculous. And I think, I see people going 30 miles over the speed limit on Groesbeck and Kelly. So it's a matter of, I think, to think that you're going to have people out there patrolling, gosh, I wonder where that's coming from if we can't afford a road patrol. Thank you.
Thank you. Public participation.
Good evening again, Board. Thank you for all your work on this. I think it's a well-intentioned effort. I do believe it would be very hard to enforce. What I would like to see us focus is using every resource possible for education. We got a new IT person. We have a lot of things that's put out here on our cable channel. We have all the schools in our township that we develop a program akin to what we used to have when we had the DARE thing for drugs or whatever, but a program of going into the schools. When we have our festival here, maybe do some things like have, when it's prom season, they put the crash car in the parking lot to show the kids what drinking and driving do. But have some visuals and have education for these young people and their parents. In our area, there are no sidewalks, so it's all on the streets. And there were heart-stopping moments this last summer where people had purchased their youngsters a little go-fast bikes that probably do 30 miles an hour, and they come blasting through, and they're looking back at their buddy who's next to them, and they don't see the Buick that's in front of them. So going to education, I think we got a lot of resources, we got a lot of smart people, and I kind of lean toward Bruce's view of inviting them onto properties that are restricted for motorized use, number one. Maybe that's not the great thing, but I'm glad to see you working on this, and as a township, we'll work something out. Technology's not going to quit happening. Thank you.
Okay, further public participation? Trustee Wade.
Real quick, I will stop by that meeting. You said it's Wednesday in room 200. I will be there. Just to kind of follow up on this, and I don't want to be the bad guy here, but just because somebody developed an e-bike and decided to go out there and sell it doesn't mean we have to alter our safety rules for this e-bike. And I understand, listen to me, my kid had a fit that I wouldn't buy him a moped or a mini bike or any of those things. But I've seen the accidents where people have gotten life-altering injuries, period. You can't take that back. So I'm a firm no against it. I love the fact we're addressing it. I just think it needs to go a little bit farther, and I really appreciate, and like I go back to Mr. Leppo, he brought this forward last year, and I'm glad you did. It was an issue. So that's my thoughts.
Okay. Trustee King.
So
everything's been said already, I think, by everybody, but let's.
Oh, Paul, come on. I know you're
Trustee King.
It's not like you're not a little verbose every now and again. Come on.
To me?
But all I want to say is that I want to say thank you to the feedback. I appreciate it. This is not my will. Mr. Leppo did bring this up, and Mr. Block, who both are on the committee, and I want to say thank you to them bringing this up. And we're at a situation where this is a multi-phase, situation. So it's multi-prong, I should say. So the ordinance is one step. The other step to your point, Mr. Duggar, is about the education, right? So it's getting out in the schools. Mr. Block is a former educator, former teacher, and is putting together some information together to be able to take out to the schools. And part of this is that we use our students to be able to help us be innovative in how we get the communication methods out, whether it be getting Mr. Wade out on a TikTok, which I think would be interesting, to help educate our township on how not to use these e-bikes. But on a serious note, though, to really be able to find ways that it could be meaningful to be able to speak to them in a way that they're going to hear it and understand how important it is to be safe. So this is a work in progress. Appreciate everybody's feedback, and we'll get it right.
Roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Mr. Supervisor, just
No,
a point.
no.
Just a point of clarification. What is the motion we're voting on?
To introduce and publish.
To introduce and publish. That's what I want.
Okay.
Thank you.
And this isn't a normal process, not necessarily. This is something new. I never thought that we would have
Discussion on it.
Yeah, we'd have discussion and then not necessarily introduce it as for an ordinance until we had the discussion. Anyway, Trustee King.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
No.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Supervisor Gillaham.
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello.
No.
Clerk Meltzer, no. Motion passes.
Okay. Item number 13, introduction of ordinance 505, amendment to massage establishments. Clerk Meltzer?
Okay, one moment. I just want to make sure we get that published. Okay. You said sidewalks? Is that 14?
13.
No, we are on massage establishments.
13.
Item number 13.
Oh, okay, yeah. Can I just speak to this?
Yes.
Well, so all this does is it makes a minor change to an existing ordinance for issues of severing or, what's the language here? I'm trying to find the best language for you guys. To repeal, or if we totally want to remove the ability for a massage establishment to operate, we have to give notice. So this is just adding electronic mail, so email, basically. So this is an introduction to allow us to
Fine.
communicate that way,
Okay.
through email.
Do we have a motion to introduce and publish?
Huh?
Do
This
we
is,
have a motion to introduce and publish?
yes, that's what we need, that's what we need. Yeah,
Do we have a second?
we don't have a motion, no.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
It was a good prompt.
I have a really bad cold.
Yeah,
All right.
I thought you could just say yes. I move.
Oh, God.
Okay, moved by Treasurer Aiello, supported by
Me.
Trustee Matuzak.
Move this
Discussion on the item. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Supervisor Gillaham.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
Item number 14, request to schedule public hearing, 2026 sidewalk repair and replacement program.
Dear members of the board, the Department of Public Services has conducted sidewalk inspections in the area identified for the 2026 sidewalk repair and replacement program. These inspections identified specific sections of the sidewalk that require repair or replacement to address safety concerns and maintain compliance with accessibility standards. In accordance with Township Ordinance 1022, a public hearing is required prior to ordering sidewalk repairs. The purpose of this letter is to respectfully request that the Board of Trustees schedule a public hearing for the 2026 sidewalk repair and replacement program at the March 16, 2026 Board of Trustees meeting. Scheduling the public hearing will allow the township to provide proper notice to affected property owners and to offer an opportunity for public comment on the necessity of the proposed sidewalk repairs. Following the public hearing, staff will return to the board with a recommendation to order sidewalk repairs and to proceed with implementing the program in accordance with the township ordinances. Sincerely, Brett Middlestead, Assistant Project Manager for DPS.
Mr. Gilham, if I can just, this is the program that we brought forward, but this is to schedule the public hearing for the March 16th. There's no changes except to schedule the public hearing.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Clerk Melzer, yes. Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Gilham, I know we're done, but the notices are being sent out this week to the people that are directly impacted.
Great. Thank you. In accordance with the rules.
Right.
Okay. Item number 15, adoption of resolution authorizing execution of contract 255542 between MDOT and Clinton Township.
This is a letter from MDOT, and it's asking us to prepare a certified resolution, which was done, approved this by the board, so that is what we are doing. This resolution is any and all resolutions. It is, it's authorized to contract with the municipality for the maintenance of a state trunk line highway and is desirous of executing a contract with the Charter Township of Clinton for certain maintenance as described in said contract. So the township is desirous of authorizing the supervisor and clerk to execute contract number 25-5542, and that is the ordinance.
Is there a motion to approve?
Or resolution, I'm sorry, that's the resolution.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported.
Mr. Supervisor.
Discussion?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak.
This is actually to place a sculpture on the median south of 16 Mile. It is not a permanent sculpture. It is part of the Macomb Cultural and Economic Partnership revolving sculpture program. We keep the sculptures for a year. This is one of those ethical things where I need to mention that I am the president of MCEP. I receive no compensation for that. And as far as I can determine, I don't think there will be any cost to the township. The sculpture is already there. It has been rented by the DDA. It is temporarily sitting at the fire station because we didn't get approval from MDOT to place it where it needs to be. Hopefully next, we change out the sculptures in October. So hopefully there will be a new sculpture in that location in October. But this is what gives us permission to put the sculpture there, for the township to put the sculpture there.
All right.
Okay.
Ready?
And I receive no compensation being president of MCEP. I spend a lot of money.
And my compliments to Brett Middlestat, who works with Ms. Bednar, for his diligent work driving this issue. It shouldn't be this hard.
It shouldn't be this hard.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Clerk Melzer, yes. Motion passes.
Okay. And we need a motion to go into closed session for
Support.
ITC versus Clinton Township legal advice pending litigation matters. And when we come out, we will receive and file 16 and act on 17.
Correct.
Okay. A motion to go into closed session has
I made
been
the
offered.
motion. We need a second.
Supported.
I support it.
Did you? Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Clerk Melzer, yes. Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. We move into closed session. Thank you, everyone.
Public comment, public comment.
Oh, geez, yep.
Well,
no,
we
we're
really
coming out.
don't. I mean, well, we can, but, because we're coming out, but.
So you're making a motion to.
I'm making a motion to
move
do
public
public
comment.
comment now.
So is there support?
I'll support.
Okay, roll call?
Trustee, I'm sorry, yeah, Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
All right, hang on one second. That was not one. Hang on 1 minute. And then, was it you? Okay.
Trustee King?
Trustee
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gilliam?
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Clerk Melzer, yes. Motion passes.
Public participation? Thanks, Captain. Mr. Bushell?
I wanted to clarify the question that I submitted on that form, which each of you got a copy of earlier today. And it's a matter of, it has nothing to do with if the project is done or not. It has to do with the approval letters that came to the board. This is a project that has over 11 months left on their site plan if they do go with it, but that has nothing to do with what I asked. What I asked about is, when the township board acted on this, the planning department had submitted a letter that this project met, and it even exceeded all ordinances requirements. The planning commission also submitted a letter, said that it met and exceeded all ordinances. And this particular project has no drainage system, no setbacks, no landscape at all, not a tree or a bush or a piece of grass, and many other things missing. And I want to believe that it's just that maybe the people that issued those letters didn't realize the ordinances require some little things on it. But I think the township board, because you actually vote to employ all these people at great expense, I think you have to understand, you can't ask them to say, do they really meet all the requirements? You have to ask the township attorney to look at the plans. There again, I've 3 times in the last 2 weeks, I've given you the copy of the plans, the letters. They do not meet any of our requirements. And I think that means that the board has to decide if they didn't meet, and they obviously don't. I think all of you are well educated enough to know, if you've looked at those plans, you realize they do not meet any of the standards. This board, last January, when you voted to approve this, it was a 6-1 vote. And I think it's important that if you have been getting bad information certified by paid professionals that we're spending much money on, you have to find out, do they need more education, or is there something else at hand here? And that way, once this question is answered on this particular project, it's one of the most, I've got about 8 more that you've gotten the same kind of letters on. And a lot of them end up being actually vacant property, even though they're all done. And so I think it's important. I think this is one of the most important things to this board, to find out if the people that you're employing are sending you literally the recommendations to approve these things and saying they meet all requirements, and they don't. I think you want to know that. I think anybody with any kind of morals wants to know that. Thank you.
We have another one, Captain? Okay. Dave.
My name's Dave. And I ain't saying my last name, and I ain't saying my address, because I got the 4th Amendment. And my nephew's overseas, and I don't want his name out in public, because right now he's fine at 15s. I came to you guys, talked to King, talked to Paul, talked to Kim about our police department. No show. Dan, Julie, no show. Bruce, no show.
Direct your comments towards the chair.
The chair's right here. Don't interrupt me, I won't interrupt you. All right? I tried to talk to you guys in private. Talk to him, talk to you about it. Talk to Kim about 4 times. Mike, no, nothing. Dan, nothing. Julie, nothing. And Bruce, nothing. We have a serious problem. We have a serious problem with you, Paul, too. I don't have 3 minutes up here. I don't have hours like I talked to Shannon. Kim, just to let you know, your department is doing a great job. You solved this problem that we have about our FOIA request from the police department. Asking dates, that's a violation. And it's been going on since 1976, the law. She fixed it on what, January 29th was it fixed? Or 19th, I'm sorry, January 19th. It's sad. So there's fines that come with that. I want one of you guys to report yourself to the state that we've been in violation. I don't have the code on me right now. Paul, you said your approach to leadership and focus is the problem solving. You didn't solve nothing. I came to you with this problem. I came to you 3 or 4 times. Had to go to Kim. She solved it. You just blew me off. I went to you once. I don't expect you. You're part-time.
30
He's the head of the
seconds.
police department. Mike, I went to your office 4 times. I don't know what hours you work. I went there at 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Work a lot more than
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay?
Yeah.
You know, I might ask for an appointment to talk about this problem we have. You just blew me off. I don't think that's right.
3 minutes are up, sir.
Well,
Thank you for your time and your
I'll be
comments.
back next minute.
Okay. Public,
And
we are,
I'd like to have a clock up here. so
public
I know-
participation is closed, and we will move on with closed session.
Hey, can I have a time up here?
agenda is number 17, which is an add-on, which is remand relating to record on appeal. So to describe this issue, the Circuit Court has remanded the township's denial of ITC's request under the Essential Services Ordinance from June 2nd, 2025. The basis for the court's decision is to allow the Township Board to receive, file, and review the supplement dated November 24th, 2026, provided by ITC. The court is requesting that the board either modify its findings or affirm their original decision. Following approval of the minutes of this meeting, Township Council will update the record with the court in accordance with the court rules. Having reviewed the additional documentation, there is no new information or issues that have not been previously discussed by the board. Mr. Dunsted's correspondence asserts the cost to build the various routes, but offers no evidentiary support for his claims. Moreover, the cost assertions regarding wetlands, based on meetings and site review by the staff at Eagle, are believed to be grossly overstated, as previously indicated as part of the official record. Further, the Delcoma route continues to be viewed by the township's administration and staff as the route that is in the best interest of the township, its residents, and its visitors, because, without limitation, A, the 19-mile road route, as proposed, has an excessive impact on residential premises and the people who live there. B, the 19-mile road route conflicts with the township's ability to develop this area as a premier medical corridor. C, the Delcoma route consists of wires on the east side of Delcoma, whereas the closest residential buildings are on the west side of Delcoma, significantly further than the 19-mile road route. D, the potential use of the county's drain easement down Delcoma significantly reduces and possibly eliminates the need for use of college property and/or wetlands. E, the Delcoma route, from information obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, appears to be the first route suggested by ITC to the hospital, and whereas the hospital was lobbying the college for their consent and approval. For these reasons, as well as all other reasons stated previously on the record, I motion to receive and file the presented documents and to deny the 19-mile road route request under both the Township's Essential Services Ordinance and to deny consent under MCL 247.183, subsection 1.
So, Mr. Supervisor, just point of order, it would be to affirm the decision of the board on June 2nd based upon what you've stated out loud.
Okay, I motion to affirm the decision on January 2nd.
Correct.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported.
January 2nd.
Discussion.
Or, I'm sorry,
Excuse me, June
2nd,
2nd.
2025.
June 2nd. Yep.
Wait a minute. I thought it was November. Wait. Oh, yeah, June 2nd. Okay.
Discussion. From the board? Public participation? Roll call, please.
Wait. We don't have a motion.
We do have a motion.
Who made the motion?
The motion is to affirm. I made the motion and there was a second.
It's a motion to receive and file and to affirm
I
the
know, but
decision
who-
on June
I-
2nd.
Called it.
Correct. I just want to know who seconded it.
I did.
Trustee Matusek.
Supervisor Gilliam.
Yes.
Trustee Matusek.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Kras.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Treasurer Ayala.
No.
Clerk Melcher, yes. Motion passes.
Okay. Seeing no further items?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn is in order.
I made a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion is moved and supported.
Clerk Melcher, yes.
Roll
Treasurer
call.
Ayala.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Matusek.
Yes.
Trustee Kras.
No.
Supervisor Gilliam.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Where do you
Motion
suppose that
passes.
is? I'd like to go there.
Okay. We're adjourned.